What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of August 27th and the 28th of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Happy new moon in Virgo. Quite the full moon energy. Let me screen share because I kind of rushed into this a little bit. So, hope everybody is ready for the weekend and excited, because what else do we got except our own, excitement to live? Okay, we're getting there. I just gotta fix the crop. I pulled the charts up as quick as I could, and I was like, I need to get this done. I am so tired, I'll be honest with all y'all. I am a tired Capricorn. All right. So, this new moon will be at 4 degrees of Virgo. And of course, we're talking about Virgo here, so this really is jumping into Virgo season very quickly. It's getting us ready to initiate. It's square Mars exact. So we're at this place where we're going to want to emotionally have things figured out. We're going to want to have things figured out in our mind. We're going to want to have things figured out in our personal lives, in our day-to-day lives, in our routines, our jobs, our service, so many of these things. It's bringing up this whole lunation, this whole Virgo season is going to bring up extreme mental unsurety. And that's where people are going to guilt themselves. They're going to be too hard on themselves. They're going to be too hard on other people. They're going to be too overly critical of life. And that's what you don't want to do. You'll get frustrated. This Mars square, this new moon, is frustrating, emotionally taxing. It can give us a lot of stamina. It can give us a lot of go power. But we have to, at some point, just get the truth and act on it instead of overthinking things. And with Mercury now in Libra, and this weekend getting close to the trine over to Mars, but Mercury's slowing down a lot. It's going to get ready for its retrograde September 9th. So everything's kind of this long build-up here, and it's hard because it's wishy-washy with Mercury in Libra. It definitely wants to understand what's beautiful in the relationships and have good conversation, and I think, almost put a beautiful, word out there first, but there's still this level of tension with Mars. And I think that we're at a place where we have to make those changes. This is a mutable square. It's mutable tension. It's okay, the environment, the reality, the personal life, your self-expression, it has to go through a change to beautify and get to that sweet spot. And we're all at a place where I think when it comes to finding happiness, that's all we got. And it's hard. It's taxing because Venus is opposite Saturn. So there's a lot of taxing energy. It's this beautification of reality, this great, sort of harvest that we're looking for. It takes work. It's effort. And we have what it takes to get that. We can put the effort in, but we have to be willing to accept that it takes effort. And Venus still square Uranus, now retrograde, of course, is definitely it takes weird effort. It takes you really getting into your individuated values, finding people that are on that level. It's really weird for relationships. This is not going to be an easy, especially as we come into September, it's just not going to be an easy one for relationships. It's very big decisions are happening with the square to the nodes that we just saw. Very fated moments. I mean, it's fate trained to the max. You have to just accept where that fate's taking you, because if we try to figure it out with our mind, we're never going to come to a conclusion. We're going to be stuck in limbo and almost purgatory, and you don't want to be in that place right now. You really want to be in the purity of your soul, of your heart, and what's going to beautify and clean up and consolidate things to what you want your life to be molded into right now. And I think that's the most important part, especially as we look at Saturday and coming off that new moon, which will be we already had it after I filmed this. It was at 1:30, so it already happened. So happy new moon. But it's harsh with the opposition to Saturn because we want these things, but it's going to be time. It's very physical in Virgo. Saturn's physical. Venus is physical. So it's like this step by step determination, proactivity, to not be stuck in your analytical mind and freak yourself out, but to get it, to see what needs to be done and to do it. And that's where you will get great reward. And that's where it'll come through with your manifestations, money in your life. And, that's all a big reflection of relationships in many ways too. Most importantly, that relationship to yourself. So it's a big check on that, especially as we come into Saturday. As we look at Sunday, we're going to see the moon finishing up in Virgo. It's going to get close to Libra, but it's going to be making really nice trines over to the North Node and Uranus. So we're at a place where I think we're ready by Sunday to kind of make that radical change, to liberate ourselves from a lot of, it almost feels like there's programs, but there's always programs running. So it's like liberation from the ones that are dirty, and you saw that the cleanup needs to be made and you went for that. Venus is exactly opposite Saturn. It's going to feel like to get that sort of liberation, you have to put the effort in. You have to make powerful decisions with relationships, with money. You can't just be in la-la land. And I think that's where this Virgo season will help us, because it's going to get us right into reality, right into that space. But, are we going to do something about it? Or are we just going to kind of push things under the rug? That moon will be opposite Neptune. And it's very sensitive when the moon and Neptune are in aspect to each other. But, we can want to escape. We can want to drink things away, smoke things away, do something that isn't productive. And that's where Saturn's going to check our ass hard this weekend. And I know that it's the weekend and we want to relax and have a good time, and I'm not telling anybody not to do that. But when it comes down to like really important things in your life, really valuable things, valuable decisions, valuable people, do not slip on those. Like, you've got to make them. It's big. And the sun's finally pulling off of that square to Mars, which is helping. But, it's going to ease the tension a little bit, but it is a tense weekend. And I think we have to take the tension for what it is and liberate ourselves. As we come to Sunday night, the moon will trine Pluto. And I think that we'll see very deeply into our soul and into our personal life, the changes that need to be made, that we can work for and dedicate to, that will show up with something very physical, that will put us where we need to be in our personal life, and kind of take the weirdness of reality as it is and not trip on it, because now is just not a time to trip in your head. We can definitely be in that place of uncertainty and trip ourselves out, but I really believe that your heart, with Venus here getting all these aspects, is very important to know that your soul knows what's best, and you just have to trust that. The mind will take you to a place you don't want to be, and there's a lot of Uranian aspects, so it's it's very alien, very new in a lot of ways. Maybe we could make these decisions that are fun, that are bringing happiness and love into our lives, and maybe it won't feel crazy, maybe it won't feel like harsh. Maybe Saturn will give the rewards to the people that are building relationships to anything in your life right now that's based around love, happiness, and, not judgment. If anybody's judging you, or if you're judging someone, this is where Saturn's going to check people this week. And so that's a lot of this new moon energy, in my opinion, too, is a big check on how we treat ourselves and how we treat others as well. There's a lot of people aspects, and there's a lot of tension where people are going to treat people really poorly. And does that vibe with the reality that you want if you're being treated poorly? And can you make a decision to get out? And if you're treating people poorly, this is where people will leave your ass in a heartbeat, and you'll be like, why? Because you're a dickhead. Just being real. Love you all very much. So I know you guys aren't dickheads. But, take that as you will, for the collective energy. So it'll show too like a good reflection of like your character, about how people are treating you. And I think we have to see that for what it is. It's not time to trip on it, but you can make changes. This is a good new moon for change and purification. Because we all want to harvest happiness and love into our lives. Six of Wands. Booyah. Victory. We're going to, maybe this weekend, through some kind of block or some kind of hardship or some kind of something in life, this is where we get the recognition for the work that we've put in, and that we feel like we're kind of getting pulled up into our great victory. And the Four of Wands. Oh, the homecoming party celebration card. I feel like there's a lot of rewards out there for people, and a lot of happiness and celebration if you're doing exactly that, purifying for love in your life. And the Death card in reverse. It's almost like we feel like, oh God, I have to make this decision and life's going to end, and it's about creating all these mental excuses, and it's really just a necessary transformation that shouldn't be afraid of, shouldn't be worried about. We should just accept that there's a bigger thing that's happening for everybody, when we're all meant to adapt and change right now. Don't be scared of the transformation. That depth of whatever shows up is just going to pull you higher to where you want to be. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you all for Monday's horoscope tomorrow. Much love. Peace.